Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. If you remember back on 25th of December 2021, I put up a video where all the horses had Christmas hats on. I thought it would be kind of funny, bring some smiles here and there, and I think it did. So that was a huge success. But the second part actually of success was how each horse was able to wear a Christmas hat. It wasn't without its trials and tribulations kind of idea, but you'll be surprised to find out who was the absolute fastest horse to get a hat on. And that's what I want to discuss today. The goal obviously was to have a little bit of fun, but as I said, the secondary goal was to keep working with the horses bit by bit on certain things. We have a couple of previously feral horses, one a little more previous than the other. And I thought that they would both be a challenge, but they weren't. So let's discover who was and who wasn't, and what I did and some of the thoughts that I had. Okay, so the order of horses I'm going to show here isn't the order that I worked on them on. I actually did what I thought was going to be the easiest horses first, so I'd have more energy for the not as easy horses. And so somewhere near the end of the training that I did do comes the first horse here at the longest time of 16 minutes and 10 seconds, and that is Gracie. She took quite some time to get a hat on her head. She's always been very touchy about the top of her head. I was trying to clip something on to her mane, and she was a little bit concerned. So I started off with a halter because it would allow me to have a little bit more control so she doesn't just leave me. Plenty of horses also, when they have a halter on their head, they actually get a little bit more, I'd hesitate to call it submissive, but a little bit more of an understanding that we are in working mode, I guess we could call it. So after a little while, 16 minutes and 10 seconds, I finally was able to get that hat on there and take a picture. That was a lot of fun. I actually enjoy those challenges, so it's no big deal. But she was a little bit worried, and it took a lot of reassuring to get her to a place where she would accept that thing on there. And then on Christmas Day, because that was on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day I actually had to do it again, which went much faster, but then I had to leave her alone, hope that she didn't shake it off. And of course, she half shook it off. So, well, it was a success. All right, the second longest horse that I worked on was Little Miss, and I think plenty of you are aware. She is new here, just a little over a month here for some training. She was previously feral and is a BC Wilde. And I thought this would go okay. I was reasonably confident. I still put a halter on her first because I didn't want her running off. I wanted her to stay with me, so I cheated a little with a halter to ask her to stick around when I started putting this halter on her head and getting it clipped on. But surprisingly, she came in at just under half of what Gracie took at 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Very impressed with this little one. She was fantastic. And Christmas Day was actually simple. I didn't have to use a halter at all. She remembered everything. It's very impressive. Okay, the next horse that I knew I would have a little bit of trouble with was Roni. He's a quarter horse here. He's always had difficulties with the top of his head. I haven't been able to reliably fix it. I can convince him of it a little bit, and then, you give it a day and he's like, no, don't do it again. So I knew I'd have a little bit of trouble, and I did, but he got it done in under 5 minutes at 4 minutes and 38 seconds, which was impressive from the time of starting to taking a picture. Christmas Day also wasn't much trouble either. In fact, I could say that every horse had very little trouble the next day after I'd worked with them. So I was quite happy with that. Okay, the next horse, we're getting very close to just having to take 1 minute. Lina came in at 1 minute and 6 seconds. I don't know why she gave me a little trouble at first. I think that she was essentially telling me to, go scratch somewhere else or something, but she tolerated it great, and it was a fantastic model when I took the picture too. So. The next horse, we're down to the last three. These three all came in around the same time, just seconds of each other. And I was very, very impressed with my next boy, which was Mr. Wilde. He is a previously feral horse, a BC Wilde. He's mine, I bought him, in comparison to Little Miss, who is here for some training. And I expected it to go pretty well. I didn't even bother to halter him. I got it on there. And he made it in exactly 1 minute. So very impressed. I really like him, and he looked good too in a hat. Okay, the next horse, we're down to the last two, and I'm not sure if you'll be surprised or, expected it, but my next horse actually that got it done in 57 seconds, so just under a minute, was Luke. Now I expected him to be the best, to be honest, because he's my horse. I've owned him since he's 2 or 3, and I've done a pile of work with him over the time I've had him. So I didn't expect to have any trouble whatsoever, which I didn't. Obviously, we've come in less than a minute of getting a hat on and a picture taken, but he was still 57 seconds. That leaves us with the last horse, Yoka, a little Icelandic here that is owned by David, which many of you know. And she came in at an amazing 51 seconds from the point I entered to the point I was able to take a picture to have a hat on her head. She was fantastic, and a nice, big, huge mane to attach this thing to. It also kind of got in the way. It was so fluffy. Absolutely cute to have a hat on top of her. I mean, they all look great when a hat was on, but really cool. I'm really happy that actually that she came in first. She's the most adorable with a hat on, I thought. Anyways, let me know in the comments below who you thought was the most adorable. And it was a lot of fun. My takeaways really are that you just have to be patient, be reassuring. It's not really that much different than putting on a headstall, other than you're kind of trying to clip something onto their mane. It's not very heavy, it's just a very lightweight hat, but it can still be a little bit concerning. The clips that I used didn't make any clicking sounds or anything like that. They just sort of stuck on there. And it worked out well. I'd say in the future, I'll probably do this every Christmas. I think it's a fantastic little training exercise to get horses a little bit more comfortable with things being on the top of their head. And obviously there's no danger, it's just a hat, so we can let them know you're fine. Anyways, that's it for this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.